The Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, and welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS live stream. I am your host, James Grande, joined by Keith Eister. You could follow us on our social platforms right there on Twitter. You'll see our ats right there. Keith, what's going on, brother? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, man. Not too much. Another fun NBA slate here to break down. Lots of injuries per usual. Not a ton of value, though. Despite all those injuries, I thought it was a little bit weird that there's a couple spots that we can look at, but I thought the value was sort of lacking overall for as many injuries as we're dealing with anyway.
Yes, I agree. And I think ownership does too, as it currently stands. I don't think there's a lot of truly comfortable value on tonight's slate. There is value getting ownership, but we'll talk about whether we like it or not during the breakdown. You are right. There are 9 games. There are a lot of injuries, and yet there isn't. Some of the situations are due to, I think they've had a couple days to realize. Like Cleveland, I mean the Mobley injury is interesting because
Garland's been out for a while.
Yeah, but so Garland's been out.
Already adjusted a lot of
Wagner already like the Franz Wagner stuff already adjusted. Austin Reeves has been out for a while. We know that. So a lot of the situations have already kind of happened. So we'll see if anything, breaks during the show. It is Hug Watch season, Keith. We are 9 days away from the NBA trade deadline. So you never know. I think, and it's just going to be what happens for the rest of history. Luka got traded in the middle of the night, and nobody's safe, right? There's nobody safe. So just because you think your team won't make a trade doesn't mean it will, especially if you've, possibly been in the NBA Finals less than a year ago, and then you trade your franchise player. So
we've kind of always said that about the NBA, that anybody could get traded at any time, but it never really hit home quite like it did after the Luka trade. It was just definitely a holy shit moment. Absolutely.
Yes, the NBA is, I've always said, the best drama on television. I don't need to go watch a soap opera to get some drama. I could just watch the NBA either on Twitter or on the court, right? Last night we had a couple fights. There was a zero fears entered the torture chamber. So NBA where amazing happens, Keith. I think that used to be the slogan. I don't think they rock with that one anymore. But 9 games.
Man, you're throwing it all the way back there. That was what, 12 years ago, probably.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. We have 9 games where amazing could happen. It also could not. Luka, Wemby, Jalen Johnson, your 10K and up players. If you guys are in the chat, thank you for joining. Thank you for all the comments. We'll get to you guys in a second. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It goes a long way in supporting us here at Fantasy Alarm. Keep the lights on. I mentioned before we dive into our positional breakdown, Steve was in the chat thanking us nice and early today. Krab Shingun, the only center left available on the Houston Rockets. RIP to Steven Adams this year. Brandon saying, let's get it indeed. Jeff, aka some guy, good evening to you, sir. Spin Block, much love to you. Keith, Steve Smith is hoping that everything is going wonderfully in your world, not mine. Doesn't care about me. It's okay. Preffies on double birthday narrative watch. Can't wait to talk about that. Steve is also super sad about Luka. I imagine that's just something that's never going to get out of the mindset of the Luka. No matter how good Cooper Flag ends up being, it just doesn't. I don't think it will ultimately matter. Vic says, good day to you, good sir. And you guys are the best, Brad said. Keep it up. See? That's how you do it, Brad.
We appreciate it all.
Yeah, we appreciate it all. Let's get into our positional breakdown. Just Pharaoh in the chat. What's up, fellas? What's up to you, my friend? Let's go to point guard, Keith. There are some very good options here at the top of point guard. Luka Doncic, the aforementioned former Dallas Maverick, no longer a Dallas Maverick. He now plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know if you've heard. Stephen Curry, 9K. He also, don't know if you knew this, plays for the Golden State Warriors. Jalen Brunson's 85. Keontae George off the injury report, 83. Amen Thompson, 81. What say you about this top tier of point guard? Is there let's ask it like this, Keith, because there's Luka in the field, like Luka and then everyone else. Because of the lack of value, how likely is it that you get to
I'm
Luka
finding
Doncic
it
tonight?
very difficult. And that's like I've played more Luka over the last couple of slates than anyone. I promise you that. I don't know. I think last week we were on a show together and I was really high on him where nobody else was seemingly there.
It was this one. It was the Denver. It was the start of it. I think it was the Denver game, and he went absolutely nuclear.
Like, I often make it a point just to get up to him. I am finding it really tough on this slate, and somebody who often makes it a point to get to him, not being able to do it just tells you how tough it is. That also means that the field is not doing it though as well. He's going to be under 10% owned, I think, unless we get a ton more value opened up. And a guy that can score 80 fantasy points really pretty regularly. I mean, he's scored over 75 twice in the last week. He's a guy that you should probably find a way to get to, and I'm still struggling to do it. He's fantastic. I love the matchup against Cleveland, especially without Garland, who's one of their better perimeter defenders. They play fast. Their defense has taken a step back this year. I like the spot a ton for Luka. I just the slate is not really allowing me to get up to him at this point.
Yeah, and they're missing the reigning defensive player of the year in Evan Mobley too. Like it's just another layer of rim protection that's just not there. If you were to play Luka, just for context, you have $5,400 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, we can plug in a Boston center probably that we'll talk about, but it's still not comfortable.
No, you're really pushing it. Like you need 80 from Luka if there's no other value that opens up to correct for whatever, because you're not going to really get anything other other.
Part of it is the savings down to the next guy that we're going to talk about.
Yes, Steph Curry in the dream scenario. I know you have been on record as to say you don't play a lot of Steph, and I understand it. This is a different spot.
The reason I don't play a lot of Steph is because it's hard to predict his ceiling games. But when you look at the matchup for this guy in this spot, this seems like a pretty likely ceiling spot. No Jimmy Butler against the worst defense in basketball, who allows the most 3-pointers in basketball for the best 3-point shooter of all time. Things are lining up here for Steph, so totally on board.
Also third in pace. Who's also third in pace? Who also plays at the third fastest?
Exactly.
It's just cherry on top. Yeah. So you agree with the ownership because he's currently the highest rostered player.
Yeah, I mean he's not a guy that I'm gonna double the field on today when he's this popular. But it's undeniably a great spot, is what I'll say.
What about the 8K tier? Anything pique your interest?
Keontae George is always playable for a ceiling. Same with Brunson. Nothing that is really standing out to me though. Don't have a ton of interest here. Would rather go down a little bit cheaper because there's a couple of guys that I really like in the 7K range.
Talk to me about the 7K range. Who are they? Are they both Eastern Conference point guards, which could be telling? Does one play for the team that both you and I root for? And does another one have two other brothers, one a famous rapper and one is on the Cleveland Cavaliers?
You have hit the nail on the head, sir. Giddy played, what was it, 28 minutes last time? I think he is almost back to full strength. Yeah. I think we can expect 30 minutes from him tonight. This is a 9K player, and he is 7,800. If he's going to play 30 minutes at 7,800, that's too cheap for what he can do. We know he's live for a triple-double anytime he's on the floor. Great matchup against Indiana. It's a really good spot. I want to get ahead of, he's just too cheap for, if he's going to play 30 minutes, he's too cheap. I kind of feel similarly about LaMelo Ball. I have not played hardly any LaMelo all season long. because he just plays 22 minutes way too often. He's not going to play more than 30 minutes. That's unlikely. But now that the price is down in the mid 7Ks, like this is a guy who can triple double anytime he's on the floor also, even in 28 minutes. So I love the ceiling here. It's a great matchup against Memphis. I think LaMelo's just too cheap. I like a lot of Hornets today. I like this game environment overall. But now that the price is under 8K, like he just has too good of a ceiling to ignore.
Yeah, this game is fantastic. I'm kind of surprised it only has 230 and a half implied points, but I would bet the over on that. We do have some news here, Keith, and the chat is talking about it a lot. Jalen Brunson just downgraded to questionable with an illness. We were talking about value. They are already without Miles McBride tonight.
Tyler Kolek.
It is possibly Kolek season, and he will be 100% rostered if that is the case. It is 100% plug and play Tyler Kolek if Jalen Brunson's ruled out, right? Don't think twice.
Yes, agree. Even if they do something weird like start Josh Hart at point guard or Landry Shamet, like
Josh Hart questionable, by the way. Hart questionable. By the way.
Yes, I think Kolek would have to play 25 plus minutes in this spot, and he's a very good per minute producer.
All you need,
right.
You don't need more than that. Even and if you we've talked open the slate or open our slate talk with no value, right? Or lack of legit value. So yeah, I definitely news to monitor heading to roster lock. That game is 7:30. There will be 2 games locked before that. So if you are a Luka player and we have not gotten word yet, then you pray to someone. Just something that runs.
It's ironic that maybe the key to playing Luka you might not have before Luka's game locks. That's an interesting wrinkle.
Like does the Knicks news? That is an interesting. And honestly, a wrinkle that is something that we haven't gotten a lot of. I think with the injury reports now coming out every 15 minutes. The likelihood, yesterday, we got the Phoenix news really early. It was 2 hours before lock. I was hoping that we would get the Phoenix news a little later and some of the ownerships would have been a little lower, but we didn't. So, yes, we will obviously be monitoring Jalen Brunson, Miles McBride already out, Mitchell Robinson out, and Josh Hart questionable as well. So the Knicks could be shorthanded second leg of a back-to-back here. Anything else in the 7K tier? Quickly has been on a little bit of a heater. De'Aaron Fox has a tough matchup, but you could definitely, he's De'Aaron Fox. He has a ceiling. Nembhard, Anthony Black, any of those guys.
They're all fine, but none of them are priorities because of the 2 that we've talked about already. I'm getting to a ton of Giddey and Ball. Nembhard, I would say, is the one that I want exposure to just because of the matchup against Chicago.
Agreed. That would be my pick as well. I think the quickly production is too hard to maintain with the team that he has around him. Sub 7K. Are you buying into the Peyton Pritchard birthday narrative?
I am not. I don't know how a birthday impacts a guy's play. I haven't studied it or done the research, but. I don't think it's all that impactful. So, no, Pritchard, not a guy that I'm on today. I do like the matchup against Atlanta, but he's appropriately priced is what I will say. I think you can find better values. If you go down a little bit, Jalen Suggs would be the guy in this range that I'm on. Another guy who's kind of seeing the minutes trend in the right direction to where it's outpacing the price tag, right? If he plays 30 minutes tonight, he's too cheap for his role. He's a very good fantasy point producer. Played 27 minutes last game. If he gets up to 30 in this spot, 6,300 is just a little bit too cheap.
Let's go over to comments here. I see Coach Chris in here, Money Time. He wants to plug Rui Hachimura. We'll get to Rui in a little bit. Jaylen Brown and Steph in primetime spots. Warren friend We haven't seen you in a little while. Hope everything is good. Crab Shingun Shamit Kolik backcourt, maybe. Warren is always playing Andrew Nembhard. I'm starting to think that they're related in some fashion. What did Dorian Finney-Smith do to you, BKG? I don't understand. I don't understand the hate to Dorian. Shout out to Dorian Smith. He got paid this offseason for 15 minutes a game. And then we'll talk about OG, his epic evening, returning to Toronto in a little bit. What about nothing else in the 6K tier? 5K range, anything, value, anything? What do we got the rest of point guard? Just give me any, if there's anything else you like here.
Anthony Simons is a guy that we've been playing a little bit here recently. The price tag is now getting closer to reasonable. It was up to 5,500 for a minute there, which is pretty unreasonable because he's only going to play those 25-ish minutes basically every game. But he can score in a hurry, so I don't mind him now that he's down to 4,900. TJ McConnell, kind of the same thing, is a player that can score a bunch of fantasy points in a hurry, but not likely to play a bunch of minutes. We've talked about the value on the slate being lacking a little bit, so these are the types of slates where I think McConnell is very interesting. You're paying a lot chasing a ceiling game, but if that ceiling game hits, like it would be well worth it.
Did you see our Bulls tried to acquire Anthony Simons?
I did not see that.
The report was Anthony Simons, the Bulls tried to acquire for Vooch, and the Celtics said no.
Interesting.
They said, nope, we don't want that.
Vooch trade value down bad.
Yeah, it was died
5th year in a row.
What a surprise, huh?
Yes.
Let me throw a couple names at you here and get your assessment. Brandon Williams currently getting the second most ownership. I think it probably has, lack of value one, but also has gained shooting guard eligibility. What do you think of Brandon Williams at 4,900?
Yeah, he's fine. The shooting guard eligibility definitely helps because that's a much weaker position than point guard. The minutes are inconsistent. They're not going to be perfect. If Cooper Flagg gets ruled out, then I think he becomes one of the more popular players on the slate. But he's fine as is if Flagg plays.
Yeah, and already getting ownership, you're right. Like it's going to probably double, right?
Yes.
If Cooper's ruled out. And then what do you think of Drew Smith? I know we had an anomaly Drew Smith game the other day where 6 stocks and 10 rebounds from your 6-foot point guard is not necessarily like overly repeatable. But Davion Mitchell was downgraded to doubtful today. So we've kind of seen it, right? Jockey Eunice is going to start, and then Drew Smith probably gets 20 to, we just saw it, 20 to 26 minutes. What do you make of Drew Smith on a slate with a lack of value?
Yeah, he's fine. Just don't expect the 38 fantasy points or whatever. Like that.
What do you mean? Don't expect it, Keith?
The 10 rebounds, 6 stocks. Like, come on. Like that's not happening. But I do think he's playable with his 20-minute role. No Davion Mitchell. He should see exactly what he's seen in the last 2 games, which is 23 minutes, 26 minutes. He's fine. He's not a great fantasy producer. And like I wouldn't even say like, oh, that was a ceiling. That was an outlier performance. Like his ceiling is not even 38 fantasy points, is what I would say. Like it's like
anomaly.
Yes, complete anomaly. His ceiling is more like 30 fantasy points. So just know what you're getting into. It's about what he allows you to do with the rest of your lineup more than it is playing him for 30 plus fantasy points.
Right. If he gets you 20 and you play Luka and Luka gets you 80, you're in a
right.
It's a very good spot.
Yep.
Let's go to shooting guard. Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards are far and away the best plays at this position. I don't think there's a wrong answer, but I'll ask you, who do you prefer of the two? Put you in a bad spot because it's tough.
Yeah, it is. They're both awesome, obviously. The numbers for Donnie Mitchell without Evan Mobley and Darius Garland were eye-opening. 38% usage, I believe it was, 1.6 fantasy points per minute. That's an elite, like that's a Luka number, who's a 12K fantasy player. 1.6 fantasy points per minute with those two guys off the floor. So it's Donnie Mitchell for me. It's an awesome matchup against the Lakers as well. But obviously Ant is incredible as well.
Yeah, Ant your leverage. He's half the ownership right now of Donnie.
Yeah.
So if you want to play Ant fully off the injury report, leverage play for sure. KD or Ingram interest? I think Ingram is far too expensive. He wasn't when like people were out, and now they're basically fully healthy. I don't. Maybe you
Yep.
disagree, but
No, I don't disagree. With Barrett back, it's just he's a little bit overpriced. Durant, like, man, he just keeps getting it done. I don't like the matchup against San Antonio, but like this dude, just shout out to him. He's been incredible, like consistently incredible.
yeah, I was reading. I was watching some video of him getting flamed on the internet for like his ashy legs, and he was just responding to it, and I was just like, man, that happened so long ago, and he's still so good. Like when he had the ashy ankles, it was so long ago, and he's still so good. Oh man, it's crazy. Next tier, Derek White, Anthony Black. We kind of talked about Desmond Bane's down to 7K. Kobe White is 7K. We had Norm upgraded from questionable to probable. You know, it seems like a daily thing. Is there anything there that you like?
Nothing I'm prioritizing. I think every one of them is fine and just kind of priced appropriately.
Right.
A ceiling game for many of them wouldn't surprise me, but it's not something I'm chasing today.
What about the 6K range? I think Najee probably looks better with if Cooper's out.
Yes.
Castle is okay. Like Tyson probably definitely benefits from the Mobley
Yep.
injury. NAW's here. CJ off the bench. Hart's question. Spencer, we didn't really talk about a point guard. Pods. I saw Warren is throwing his money at Con Knipple as if he's in a gentleman's club. What's your feeling on the 6K tier?
Yeah, this is actually a pretty strong range. I like quite a few guys here. Castle, I think, is interesting. It's a tough matchup against Houston, but he's been playing extremely well. The price coming down under 7K is fantastic. I know Wemby's back to full strength now, but Castle's been filling up the stat sheet, scoring a lot of fantasy points. I like the price tag there. Jalen Tyson is the one that really stands out to me. You mentioned Mobley going down as well, was already playing a ton of minutes without Garland. Now you take Mobley off as well. He's like assured, I would say, mid-30s minutes at this point, like 34 to 36. And he's been a really good fantasy guy as well. So I like Jalen Tyson a ton. Hart, if he plays, is very much in play. Minutes have been strong for him recently, over 30 in each of the last two. Another guy that just fills up the stat sheet. Con Knipple, I am in absolute agreement with Warren on this one. I want a ton of him today. He's been incredible. Do you know who I was just randomly poking around Charlotte, and them having the best offensive rating over the last 15 days was not surprising to me. They have a ton of just absolute scorers on this team. They also have the top net rating in the NBA in the last 15 games because their offense has been that good. This is not a statement for their defense. It's shocking to me. And I know they've had some really lopsided games during that stretch, but what this Charlotte offense is doing was just mind-blowing to me when I was looking at some of the numbers today.
I mean, it started when they dropped 150 on Utah, and it just hasn't slowed down. It has not slowed down since. I and this is part of the thing. I didn't understand the 230.5 in this game. Like, Charlotte could score 130 tonight again, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Correct. Yep.
And Memphis offense doesn't look bad either without Ja. I agree. I think Knipple looks good. And Steve, don't type it into Google, okay? Just don't worry about it. Don't type that one into Google. Pajemski's getting a bunch of ownership today. I don't know. 6,300 isn't great, but the matchup is.
Yeah, it's a great matchup, but give me Khan over Pods all day long, like every time.
Agreed. Sub 6K we go. Ben Mather in 59 returned the other day. Cedric Howard got up to 30 minutes. Christie's getting a lot of ownership. Smart, Desunmu, Pella Larson, DeAnthony Melton. Is anything there in the 5K range for you?
Yeah, a couple interesting names. Coward has a nice ceiling. It's nice to see him play 30 minutes. John and I kind of talked about that on Wednesday. Like he only been playing 26 to 28 minutes. But without Ja, we figured he could still find a ceiling, and then he played 30 minutes. So now you really like the ceiling if 30 minutes is in the range of outcomes. He's a guy that can fill up the stat sheet in a hurry. We've seen double-digit rebounds out of him at times. He's also a pretty good playmaker. Can grab some assists as well. So I really like Coward. Let's see who was Christie is fine. Not a traditionally great per minute guy, but he's playing a ton of minutes. If Flag is out, then I'm completely fine going right back to him. A little bit on the fence if Cooper's in.
What do you make of this scoring for Max Christie? I mean, that's probably the minutes plus that is why the field is going to him. Do you think that this is sustainable? Because like he doesn't do a whole lot else.
We saw a stretch like this when he first came to Dallas.
Got traded, yeah. When he first got traded, people were like, "Holy cow, Max Christie!"
Like they stole him. What a throw in! Like, yeah, there was all kinds of like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, if he can do this, why doesn't he continue to do it? Would be the question. It's clearly in his bag because, like I said, we've seen it before. I don't fully trust it, but he's fine. I think he has more upside than you would generally associate with the name Max Christie.
What about D'Anthony Melton against Utah? Crab Shingun says Melton plus Utah equals love.
Yeah, interesting. I think he's going to play 20 plus minutes, and it's a fantastic matchup. So I'm totally fine with that.
A lot of it's always so uncomfortable with the Warriors, man, when they're getting this much ownership. I know the spot is great, but it's just an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. Like, I do think that there are certain guys you can feel okay about. I feel pretty good about Milton playing 20 to 24 minutes today. Like, that's just, he's not going to play any more than that, but that's what his role is going to be. I cannot say that about a lot of the Golden State guys.
Right.
Like, if you ask me how many minutes Guy Santos is going to play today, it could be 0, it could be 30. Like, legitimately.
Yeah. Yeah. If he's not starting, like, DMP is super live. Any value that you want to talk about here at shooting guard? Or sub 5K plays?
LaRavia is interesting. Has been playing 30 minutes. Locked in as the starter. Not a great per minute guy, but I do think he's interesting.
New eligibility.
Yeah, shooting guard
eligibility. I gotta ask because I'm a little bit shocked. What do you make of Kevin Huerter being the second or the third highest rostered shooting guard of the day?
That feels pretty uncomfortable. I'm guessing somebody has a pretty hot projection on him out there. I don't foresee him being that highly owned.
I don't see how you could project him more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, obviously it's a great matchup, and the price has come down to a level where if he does play 25 minutes, it's a smash. I just don't know how you could possibly feel good about him playing 25 minutes. Right.
You can't. You can't. Let's go to small forward because I don't think there's anything else there. Jaylen Brown, step above everybody else in terms of price. How likely are you to play some JB?
Yeah, I will have some for sure. It's a great matchup against Atlanta. He's shown an incredible ceiling. We know the usage is elite. It's not going to be a priority option necessarily, but like 15-20% of my lineups for sure.
Well, that is 10 to 15% higher than what the field is getting to. He's currently 5% rostered. So you could always play a low owned JB. I think the priority for me here is this guy. And it's just, again, another Hornet. I think Warren said, shouting out Khan and Diabate for changing the culture. I'd also Miller just being healthy is part of that too. He has not been healthy a lot. Looks very healthy to me out there. Is Brandon? How would you rank Charlotte amongst the people that we've talked about today? Who is your top play? Do you think?
Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to put a Charlotte player on the cover of the playbook today. And I landed on LaMelo just because
Yep.
I put Brandon Miller on the playbook last week. I think
I
or
saw.
2
I
weeks
know.
ago.
Yeah.
Like,
And when he got thrown out. So
yes.
what you're doing is you are jinxing LaMelo. And you're gonna go overweight on Brandon Miller.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Yes. Brandon Miller is the number one play on the Hornets. I also love LaMelo and I love Khan. And I think you can play Diabate and you can play Bridges.
Yeah.
Legitimately, you can play all 5 of them.
Agreed.
But Brandon Miller is the dude for sure.
Yeah. Nothing else really to say. He scored 30 actual in 27 minutes. That's literally always live to happen.
Yep.
He can score more points than he plays in minutes anytime he steps on the floor. Absolute flamethrower. Steve said the trade wasn't about AD, it was about Christie. Well, we have 9 days to figure out if that's true because AD's 9 days away from possibly not being on your team. So it's true. And Warren also just reiterating never trust Steve Kerr bench minutes. Agreed. But totally. I do think like your Melton point is right, and we're gonna get to a power forward center that the whole world is playing tonight that I'd feel pretty good about his minutes too. We'll get to him in a second. When we go down the rest of small forward, what in the mid tier stands out to you? I see like a couple names that are interesting, but I don't know if they're priorities.
Let's see here. We talked about Hart already. Don't mind him and Tyson. Eason is fine, I suppose, in the starting lineup. McDaniel's kind of the same thing. Like he's going to be out there playing the minutes. Neither really stands out as a fantastic value, but if you need something in that price range, I'd be totally fine with them. Jarris Walker, I think, is the most interesting in the mid range. And he does have that questionable tag, so keep an eye on that.
Just
upgraded.
Available. Indiana upgraded him to available.
Perfect. The minutes are trending in an awesome direction.
They're starting him the last couple of games.
Exactly. Yep. And he's played 30 minutes. So that's incredible. Like, I'm a fan of his game.
Yes.
Now that he's playing 30 minutes, wheels up. Great matchup against Chicago.
Yeah, interesting shift Indiana's done. They're running the no center lineup with Siakam, and Jay Huff is just gone from the rotation. Yep. And that has obviously benefited Jarris Walker the most. And I think ultimately Ben Matherin's return, as we saw, didn't hurt Walker. He still played 30. It was Furphy that took the big hit. Furphy started and played minimal minutes.
Yep.
So I'm 100% with you. And the field is too. He's the most popular small forward of the day. But for good reason, for sure. What happens when we drop below 5K? I know Coach Chris had mentioned Rui. He has obviously not missed a shot for a couple games. 4,700. The price is going back up. You mentioned LaRavia. Sam Merrill is probable. I kind of said it last night in the show. I wouldn't be surprised because it's a hand injury if he slid into the starting lineup tonight. He's not getting a lot of ownership. Is there anything down here that piques your interest at all?
Merrill's interesting now that you say that. Not a name that I had considered prior to the show. But yeah, if he starts, I'd be highly interested there. Without Mobley and without Garland, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I imagine they're pretty good. So that is certainly an interesting name. I want to dig into him a little bit more. Rui's fine. I don't know that I trust exactly what he's been doing.
Right.
But still cheap enough where you could take a shot there. Let's see. Was there anyone else that you had mentioned? I don't see anything else that's really standing out.
No, and there's nothing the field is really getting to. It's Walker, Herter, Tyson, Miller. Norm's getting some ownership. And to be honest, looking at some of this ownership, Keith, so we don't know who the fifth starter is going to be for Cleveland. The field is assuming it's a power forward that we will talk about. I don't see why they would start Tomlin over Merrill because Merrill's kind of started all year when he's been healthy, and it's just a hand injury. Dean Wade is getting 10%. Wouldn't we just rather play Merrill for $500 more and just be like, I'm going to play a guy who actually shoots the basketball?
Yes, absolutely.
This is just because there's no value. That's the only reason anyone's playing Dean Wade.
Correct.
Because he's going to start. And this is why I think they could do Merrill and they don't need to play Tomlin in the starting lineup. Dean Wade's 6'9". He can just guard. They could just play him on LeBron or Rui or whoever's in the game. So that would be my guess at a starting lineup, that Merrill just returns and instantly starts. So just some food for thought there. Sam Merrill currently 1% rostered. They are expected to get DeAndre Hunter back. He's obviously going to factor into a bunch of minutes without Evan Mobley, but he's been very inconsistent as well. If you have nothing else, let's go to power forward. Jalen Johnson exists. His demise was greatly exaggerated. I said that exact line in the pre-show. I'm doubling down again. I just want people to hear me a second time.
Have you played more Jalen Johnson than anyone in DFS
for 3 straight years? No, it's not this season. It's 3. I played my biggest night last year was on a 2-game slate that I won everything with Jalen Johnson. Like I played, I'm the bus driver. I don't care what anyone says. I'm the bus driver of this bandwagon.
I've been here. I can attest to that. You have been driving this bus.
But I mean, like, did I expect him to be this? No. But we're here.
Indeed, we are.
He can do this against anybody.
Yep.
I mean, it's a tough spot. It's an awful pace matchup. It's an awful. I mean, there's no owner, 2% rostered, so you can always play Jalen Johnson if you want. I think that's the moral of the story.
Indeed.
Is there a priority for you of the spend ups at power forward?
There's not. Okay. They're all obviously amazing. I think Scotty's a little bit overpriced with Barrett back in a tough matchup against the Knicks. Paulo without Franz, certainly an elite ceiling. Tough matchup for Şengün. I don't think any of them is a priority for me, but if any of them come away with 55 fantasy points tonight, I would not be surprised in the least.
Right. That's a good assessment, because I said that last night in the show. I was like, I don't think that I wouldn't play any of these players. I'm just not sure which I'd prioritize. Like, you can get all the way down to Siakam. Randall could definitely dominate in this spot. I think Markkanen I'd probably stay away from. There's obviously he has some conditioning things going on that we have to kind of factor in at 8,500. What about the next tier? We had the OG comment earlier. I don't think the Toronto matchup matters so much. It's actually not, like, going to Toronto doesn't seem very fun. They've been very good defensively. Would you be more likely to get to OG if Brunson is out, or do you think that actually hurts OG's upside?
I would be more likely to get to him if Brunson is out. I'm just going off of memory here. I'm pretty sure he gets a pretty significant boost without Brunson. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they could be down a lot of rotation.
Yeah, and if you take Hart out as well, then I would absolutely get to OG.
We're gonna do some when you're answering the next. I'll get some pull some Knicks numbers up and see what we got. Anything else here? I mean, Jabari is whatever. You mentioned Bridges.
Yeah, he's been bad, legitimately. But we just talked about the other 3 guys and what they can do in their ceiling. Yes. So he's the 4th option on this team. That doesn't mean that he's not still talented. He could absolutely have a ceiling game at any time. This price tag, it would not take even a massive performance from him for him to pay off. So I'm fully in on Miles Bridges, even though he's struggled over the past few games. Blowouts have attributed to that a little bit, but I still think there's plenty of ceiling here.
Agreed. Jalen Smith, 62.
Yep.
37 minutes, dude, in a game that Giddey saw 28 off the bench. Do you think the days of Jalen Smith starting are coming to an end? What do you think the starting lineup is? Because Giddey's going to start sooner rather than later.
Probably tonight, right? I think Giddey might start tonight.
I mean, this would be the most the weirdest double big spot to go, because Indiana is suddenly not playing any bigs.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Man, that I did have Jalen Smith in my pool, but you make a good point there. I did not consider the fact that he might not start tonight, and I think he could still play low 20s minutes, but the 37 minutes are gone. We've
Yeah.
seen him be more productive off the bench is the other thing. So I'm not completely out necessarily if he doesn't start. This matchup against
Right.
Indiana fits him perfectly.
Yes.
They allow a ton of points in the paint. They allow a ton of rebounds. That's what Jalen Smith does.
And revenge.
And revenge. We got there. We got it in. We slid it in.
Let's go below 6K. Or I guess if you wanted to talk anything else in the 6K range, we can.
Nothing else for me.
Okay. Below 6K, a lot of the field is getting to Draymond Green here tonight. 5,500. What are your thoughts on Draymond here?
I mean, it's just an elite matchup is
Yes.
the thing. So I don't feel great about the minutes. I think he plays less than 30, but the price tag is at a point where that's fine.
Yes.
I'd be fine with 26 Draymond Green minutes against Utah. He does everything. So, and Utah gives up everything. He's fine. I don't have anything to say. Like, I'm not excited to play Draymond Green, obviously, but I think it's an awesome spot, and he's a little bit too cheap for the spot.
What about the rest of power forward? Is it just skipping everything basically until we get to Al Horford?
Yep, I would say so.
Okay. Isn't this Draymond Green for $1,200 cheaper?
It really is. I mean, we know the rebounds are going to be there. He's going to score a couple of points. If he's going to play 24 minutes, yeah, I'm interested.
Just saying. I mean, it's good to know we can also we can get a ceiling of 26 minutes too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's possible. It's possible.
Yep. Elite matchup. If he's starting and playing 20 plus minutes, I'm in.
He is the highest rostered player of the slate. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, not something that I'm going to try to beat. That's for sure. Like, when I need the salary, I will go to Al Horford, but I'm not. I need to have more exposure. I need to have leverage with Al Horford. No, thank you.
Right. Not the most comfortable. What do we got? We got some. Okay, we got Davion Mitchell is officially out. Norm is in, and Khalil Ware is also in. So Davion out, Norm and Khalil Ware in. Probably can't get to Simone now that he's 42. Naquan Tomlin's the other guy getting all the ownership here. What are your thoughts on? I mean, the ownership has. I mean, it's 20. Dude, he's in the top 6 owned players on the entire slate.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, the minutes are gonna be there, I think, even if he doesn't start. He just hasn't been all that productive is the problem. He's not a great per minute guy. If he doesn't start, like, he hasn't started either of the last 2 games, right?
Yep.
And he's played 24 minutes, 25 minutes. So, like, 30 minutes is within the range of outcomes if he does, in fact, start. I think I'm with you on the Sam Merrill thing, though. I think Merrill is the guy that starts, and then you push Tomlin back to those 24 minutes. I don't have a need to play him, honestly, especially if he's getting ownership.
I think there is a incredibly wide range of minute outcome here because these last 2 games, no Merrill, no Hunter, but Mobley.
Yes.
But Mobley's been active. So, like,
Yep.
where does he slot into that, right? Like, he's played 24 without Hunter, without Merrill. Both those players are playing, but Mobley was playing high 30s in those last 2 games. So, like,
Right.
How many extra minutes do they give to Jared Allen tonight compared to what it's a tricky one because the read that I get is 21% of the field thinks that Naquan Tomlin starts tonight. They think it's a 1-for-1 power forward for power forward sub, right?
Right.
I don't view it like that. I think Dean Wade is your, like, power forward and they start Merrill Tyson as they're on the wing. And that's when you'll see Tomlin's ownership crater.
Yes. I do not anticipate rostering Tomlin tonight at all. 0 out of 40 lineups.
I mean, that's a bold strategy. And also I can't say I disagree with what Cleveland, if his ownership stays like this, it's something that I'll lose to.
I think your Hunter point is really important. Merrill too, but Hunter to an even greater extent, because they do the same things. They play the same wing length position.
Yep.
And we know that Hunter's going to play his 24 minutes more than likely.
Yep.
So how much does that leave for Tomlin? Even if Tomlin starts, I think he only plays 24 minutes because of Hunter's presence.
Right. I mean, we'll see where the ownership ends up, but it's 21% right now, fourth highest rostered power forward, top 6 on the slate. It's a lot of ownership for a guy we just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. Is there anything else at power forward? We had a slow-mo question from Shingun here. There is no Kevin Love. Nurkic is questionable.
If Nurkic is out, yep. That's if Nurkic does not start, then
if Nurkic doesn't start, oh no.
But because you can't say if Nurkic is active, because if he's active and not starting, it doesn't necessarily mean he's playing.
It's true. It's true.
So yeah, I'm interested here. But we need to know what the story is with Nurkic. We need the starting lineup.
Guess what, Keith? 9 p.m. game. I mean, we got one game that you'd be able to like have any pivots to, and there's not a lot of appealing like cheap plays in that game either.
Yeah. So if Nurkic is in without Love, it's still slow-mo as the backup 5, I think, right?
It has been. It has been. But they could also go Phillip. We haven't also seen slow-mo play a lot of back-to-backs. He played back-to-back here, but I think this was in the Nurkic stretch where Nurkic didn't play. Because Kevin Love has typically been in the back-to-back role. Yeah. I think you are correct. I think he would be the backup center, but there's also the Filipowski stuff that they could just deploy. So, yeah. Let's go to center. Before we do, actually, we'll just hit some comments here. Cam Spencer and Siakam versus Coward and LeBron, asks Michael Knack 7970.
Tough one. Very close. I think it's slightly the second one for me. But yeah, that's really close.
I would lean the first one, so you're going to have to get a third opinion. But it's like you said, it's very close. I don't have I think Spencer has given you more of a higher floor than Cedric Coward. And
agreed.
With Siakam versus LeBron, if this was a couple years ago, it's not even a question, but Luka's going for 70 every night. There's only so much LeBron can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly fair. I do think that Coward has a slightly higher ceiling than Spencer, which is why I lean that side. But yeah, it's so close. I do agree with you. The first one has more floor.
We just got Colin Murray Boyles will return tonight just to make things worse for Toronto and harder to play anybody. Let's finish it up. Actually, I didn't finish even the questions. What am I doing? Torin, what's good to you? Warren said, I remember the Summer League Jalen Johnson days. Remember him like yesterday. BK, GJ, and DePrince are talking about how they need a DFS coach. Well, we are doing an entire show each and every day, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We are doing a preview show. And we have the NBA DFS Playbook live on fantasyalarm.com with a full analysis, breakdown, core plays each and every day.
And we'll answer your questions in Discord.
And we'll answer your questions in Discord if you have any after the show leading up to lock. Warren likes Buzelis if Jalen Smith doesn't start. I think that's actually not too bad of a thought. Warren says basically confirming Nurk is going to fight with Draymond, which is always possible. They have had fair share of scraps in the past. And then Preffy is saying Nurk will play. is Nurk getting his 5th straight triple-double is the question. Let's go to center. We'll get to Nurk in a second. Wemby, Şengün, who we kind of talked about. We like Wemby at the top. We actually did. You and I did this a couple of slates ago. We did this exact matchup. Yep. I sent you they will be guarding him with Josh Okogie thing, and then Wemby went 5 of 21. Mm-hmm. I assume Josh Okogie turns into Tari Eason tonight because they moved Eason back into the starting lineup. What's your thoughts on Wemby tonight? He is currently less than 5% rostered on tonight's slate.
You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's a great tournament, like elite tournament play.
This man can go for 80 fantasy points. I want this man in my lineups. I don't care about matchup with this unicorn. Like, there's not a player in the NBA that is more matchup proof than him. I do think that Houston is smart by putting the smaller body on him. And that is a way to slow him down. Houston is also very good from just an overall team defense standpoint.
Yes.
They don't play fast. So I understand why no one else is rostering him, but that doesn't matter to me. Like, he could still go for 80 fantasy points in the toughest possible matchup, which this might be. But anytime I get 5% on Wemby, like, I'm so far in on that. Like, I'm probably going to try to find a way to get 15 at least. Probably 20% of Wemby is going to be my target tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's him and Luka, right? With the two guys with the ceilings.
Yeah. And he's 2,000 cheaper than Luka. So
he's 2,000 cheaper. Right.
And he has the same ceiling. Like, they could both go for 80 and no one would be surprised.
Right. And if you get 80 from both your Wemby lineup, your Wemby wins because he's 2,000. He saved $2,000 while getting 80.
Yep.
What about the rest of center? Towns, Bam, the aforementioned Yusuf Nurkic, Nikola Vucevic, Onyeka Okongwu, Jaren Jackson. Strong group of centers there.
Yeah, lots of ceiling at this position as usual. Şengün among the highest ceilings on the slate. Vooch would be the next name that I call out there because of the matchup against Indiana. I don't know what Nurkic is doing. Like, I don't expect him to continue triple doubling at the rate of Nikola Jokic, but that's what he's been doing. So,
dude, he is crazy. He has been kind of crazy all year long.
Yeah, he's been awesome all year long. Is the other thing. Like, he doesn't even need the triple double. He's still 7,800. Even if you get 15 boards out of him, you don't need the 10 assists to go with it. Like, he's very much in play.
Do you like Jaren tonight? No Ja, 5,400. Nobody's playing him. I think the center eligibility is the reason why no one's playing him. Right. Dude, it's a pretty good spot for $7,400 Jaren Jackson to get no ownership.
Yeah, you make some good points there. Not a guy that was strong on my radar, but we know there's another guy with a ton of ceiling. It is the center eligibility that's killing him, I think.
Yep.
But that's just like lower ownership is even better than power forward eligibility, in my opinion, for tournaments.
I just don't know why. Like, dude, we've seen he's played much better without Ja than he was earlier in the year.
Yeah.
The Charlotte center thing has been, since I started playing DFS, they have not had a good center defensively in so many. I don't know, man. Just throwing it out. 7,400 is cheaper than we've gotten them. The 32 minutes are nightly. I have interest in Jaren. And I know, like, it's contrarian because the field is playing Jared Allen. Like, we knew that was going to be the case, right? No Evan Mobley. Great spot against the Lakers, who are sometimes not playing centers at this point. Like, I know he's significantly cheaper than Jaren, but I don't look at Jared Allen versus Jaren Jackson and be like, man, I think I need to play a 24% Jared Allen versus a 4% Jaren Jackson. Like, I would play Jaren Jackson in a lot more if I was multi-entering than I would Allen, because one of them's a high usage player and one of them's not.
Yeah, I mean you make some good points there. I do think the savings is significant on
Yes.
a slate that is pretty salary. Um, I don't know what the word I'm looking for there is.
Deprived?
Yeah, like we're restricted for value plays a little bit, right?
Yes.
So I do think the savings is important there, but I agree with you that the ceiling is not on the same tier. Um, yeah, interesting points.
Just throwing it out there. Just using ownership as my logic, and then looking at the two players. I think one of them could score you 30, and one of them probably won't. Right? Like it's just
Yeah,
kind of.
I do think the conversation about Rudy Gobert is interesting as
Okay.
well because
Okay.
he has an elite matchup against
Yes.
Dallas, who has allowed the most points in the paint the entire season in the entire league. They also allow plenty of rebounds. Their centers, like they don't have bodies like they've been starting Dwight Powell. Gafford is banged up. Like they just don't have much of a front court. So I think it's a great spot for Gobert.
Came into the year with too many centers, and now Dwight Powell's starting. Go
Yeah.
figure. Go figure. Go figure. I saw, who did I see was getting ownership here? We had a Warren hear me out, and I don't think Warren has missed on his hear me outs. I will say I don't know if this one hits as much today because usually his like hear me outs are like 1% rostered. And Amari Williams is getting a bunch of ownership tonight. We'll let's talk Amari Williams versus Luka Garza. What's your take on this Boston situation? Garza is cleared to play. They're both available tonight. Who do you think starts? Who do you think plays more? Who do you have more interest in between Amari and Garza?
I think Amari starts and plays more.
Okay.
Like Garza's just not a guy they're going to extend to 30 minutes. I don't think. I might be wrong on that. I'm not going to ever tell you I know what Joe Mazzulla is going
Yeah,
to do.
please don't. Please don't.
But I think Williams is the guy they feel more confident in playing big minutes. So for that reason, I think he starts and plays. I still think it's pretty much split down the middle. Exactly what they were doing with Kada. It's just a cheaper Kada is all
Right.
that Williams is.
Correct.
Like
Right.
it's the same thing. He's probably going to play mid-20s minutes. He's too cheap for that role. So it's Williams over Garza. I think the minutes upside is more.
Are you going to be overweight with the field or under the field if he remains over 20% rostered?
I will be over the field on Amari Williams. Like probably I'm like right now, if he's 20%, I'll probably end up with like 35%. If that is, and I'll that's my target basically. It's like 35%. And if he comes in 15%, then I feel really good about that.
I like that, and I think it's possible, just depending on if he starts or not. We did just get Cody Williams news; he is out. That obviously could open things up for Utah a little bit, and maybe we're going to get the Nurkic news sometime. We'll answer a few of these questions here, and then we'll build a core here. How much Jared Allen are you playing tonight? Asked Chad.
I'll be right about the field with him. He's popular. He's in a great spot. Obviously, no Mobley gives him a little bit higher ceiling, but I do agree with some of Grande's points that the ceiling isn't necessarily elite, even without Mobley.
Mo Gay?
Not somebody I have considered.
You don't need to.
3,600. Yeah, no thanks.
Warren is already getting us a new hear me out because he didn't realize Amari was popular. Steve, I will ping Tech about Amari. I think it's because the two-way stuff depends on our provider. So I'll ping Tech after the show. Anthony has a couple questions. Only asking me though, so you can't answer. LeBron, Mitchell, or Paolo?
Mitchell by a country mile for me.
I agree, 100%. Anthony is on the Lakers tonight. In DFS, I mean that would make sense. It's a good. You definitely could play Luka or LeBron or.
Yeah, I even think the value pieces are Laravia or Rui. I think are interesting at least. Yep.
Santos or Horford?
I just don't trust Santos's minutes. Like I'm pretty sure as long as Horford's starting, he's going to play over 20 minutes. So I know the ownership is monumentally different there, but I just don't trust Santos to play the minutes.
Yeah, I agree. And then is Cooper Flash in or out?
Is that a cousin or?
Yeah, it's the cousin of Cooper Flag. Yes.
We
He's
don't know yet,
questionable.
do we?
He is,
Yep.
yeah, he's questionable. We don't have the official status. All right, let's get a core build. First person in your lineup tonight has to be
A couple options here.
okay.
I think it's a Charlotte Hornet, and I think
Okay.
it's Brandon Miller.
Okay. I mean, if you feel strongly about LaMelo, we can.
I do think it's an awesome spot for LaMelo. I think that he's going to be less popular, like way less popular.
Okay.
I will have nearly the same of both, and Miller's more popular. Is like I'll probably have 30% of both, and LaMelo is like 10% projected. Okay. Right?
Then
is that what you're seeing for LaMelo's ownership projection?
Let's look at Charlotte. Yeah, I see 6.
Yeah, like that's the reason I'm so into LaMelo. Is like everyone is playing Brandon Miller as they should be. I think he's an awesome play as well. And like I don't feel great about them in the same lineup. So I think they're both underpriced, but I think I'm just going to chase the ceiling from one of them. I think one of them goes nuclear tonight. I'm not positive which one it's going to be.
Dude, Charlotte is the ultimate max 1 team.
Yeah.
If they're all in, if all 4 of them are in, it's max 1 because you just got to guess the right. You got to have to play the percentages. You just guess the right one, and one of them goes for 40 actual, and you win. Coup de Grace is asking Nembhard or LaMelo here as the point guard.
LaMelo.
LaMelo. Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. Unless this is a Ryan Nembhard question, then I'd be, then I would definitely say no. But I was
maybe it's Ryan versus Lonzo.
Ooh, nice the brother battle. That's a hilarious question. Vassell or Simons, and we'll get back to building here because I know it's after 6.
Simons for me.
Agreed. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's take a stand here, Keith. We don't play a lot. I think personally, Brandon Miller's ownership has come way down. No one's playing Charlotte tonight, which I think is criminal.
Yeah, me too.
I will say let's go LaMelo, right? We'll go LaMelo, okay?
Okay.
That he's the cover of your playbook that you guys can find at fantasyalarm.com. We'll go with the cover boy tonight.
All right. You did kind of give some context around that though.
Yes.
last time Miller was the cover boy, he got ejected and absolutely nuked half of my lineups. So I couldn't cover boy him again.
If it happens again, then there has to be a study. Yeah, then there has to be a study done. Steph, Warriors, Horford, like something Warriors here, right? Draymond.
Yes. I mean, I'm Horford, I think just being cheaper is an even easier click than Draymond. Steph is definitely somebody I want a ton of tonight.
Okay. Because then we're basically making the decision we're not spending all the way up and we're playing Steph, which I'm perfectly fine with based on how things are right now. Because everything could change with Kolek. Everything could change if Brunson's ruled out.
Yes.
Give me one more, or give me.
Man, we're all point guard here. Because Giddey's another guy that I want a ton of tonight. I just think he's being underprojected a little bit.
Agreed.
We really don't have enough money to get to Giddey either. Let's see here. So Khan is cheap enough where I think I'm good with him and Miller together. I know you said max 1, but him or Bridges I think could get there with Miller still having a ceiling game.
Okay.
Let's see.
He's cheap.
Oh, Amari is where we're going to save the money. I forgot about that.
Okay.
That piece. So we have plenty of money.
Okay. Let's keep it there then with Khan.
Yeah.
6,400, LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Al Horford, Amari Williams, Steph Curry. 6,400 feels good. Let's see. News just came out. RJ Barrett will remain on a minutes limit. All right, that'll do it. Any Landale? Final question. We'll get out of here.
He's fine. Let me see what his price tag is. Yeah, 5,700. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Totally fine.
He'd probably have to start. We'll see if he does. Right? Because they could go the Aldama. They could start Aldama here.
Yeah, I still think he plays 24 minutes, even if he doesn't start, though. So
you're right.
I don't think he has to start.
You're right. I will. And then Warren, TJ Nash, aka TJ McConnell, the pride of
I like that.
Pride of Pennsylvania. Yeah. Keith was a big fan of TJ McConnell. This is the type of slate you'd play him, he said. So
yes,
I completely agree.
Unless Tyler Kolek becomes available.
Unless Tyler Kolek becomes available, then we don't care about TJ McConnell anymore. Yes, no offense.
But as of right now, I think chasing a ceiling performance in 18 minutes of TJ McConnell is totally fine.
Big shout to you, Keith. It's 6:07. We got to get out of here. We'll be in the Discord up until lock. Keith will be making updates up until lock and possibly beyond, depending on what the slate brings us over on fantasyalarm.com. QR code is not there. So I was going to say you can scan the QR code, but you guys could go to fantasyalarm.com and we have a lot of discounts right now, 50% off the All-Pro package. You guys can get there now. We'll be back with the preview show tonight. We'll be back with the live stream tomorrow. And we'll catch you guys later.